promised you that he would come back. Andre made the very long trek all the way from his office to this one, which is literally right next to us. And usually while I'm filming this, you have to like cease typing or you type really, really quietly.
I think I need a new keyboard.
Okay.
Like one of those that don't sound like click-clack every time I touch it.
He has a gamer's keyboard and it's like...
It is aggressive. I'll admit it's aggressive. This one's nice and quiet. Your laptop one is nice and quiet.
It's lovely. So we are here to chat couples, relationships, all the things. I did a Q&A earlier this month, and a lot of the questions I got was just to give relationship advice. Now, not that we're necessarily qualified to do this, but we have been together for a really flippin' long time, and I would consider our relationship a successful one.
Sure. And I think like what's important to outline before we get into this is how this
Andre
fits
with the disclaimers.
Oh no, but how this topic fits into the daily grind.
Yes. And even if you're single and all of, like, we want to touch on that because I don't want to leave anybody out. So, okay, so how does it fit into the daily grind stuff?
Well, okay, so look, I think especially when you're working towards like specific goals and whatnot, having a partner or an individual who's not on the same page as you can really like feel like you're having one foot on the gas and one foot on the brake. Like especially when the person you love the most or somebody you love dearly is not expressing, like support, not necessarily support, but furthermore, like or maybe even expressing doubt or they don't understand what you're working towards. I think that's a relationship thing, be it with a spouse, be it with a parental figure, right? Are we going that far today?
Yes, we can talk.
Be it with a parental figure, be it with a really good friend or whatever it is, somebody who has any type of influence over you. I think it's important that the relationship is healthy in a way that is conducive to like them supporting you. And I think there's a process for getting to the point where they support what you're doing and what you're working towards and the decisions you're making in your life.
Love.
So to me, that's how it fits into the daily grinds, 31-day, get your ish together format that you built here.
So what are your thoughts on this?
Well, I have a lot of thoughts on it. Well, I mean, that's a broad question. What are my thoughts on the subject? I mean, if you're looking for tips on how to properly, I guess, accomplish support.
One thing that I think is common is like if there's, and we're going to get to this as one of the daily grinds, but one of the things that I think is common is when we start to see change, and I think like this is 31 days of change. So when you go through and you start to create change in your life, whether that's getting healthier or going after a big goal that you have, a lot of the times if you've been in a different place in your life where you haven't seen change yet, people aren't going to like it. Like friends, family, spouse, whatever. And that can be literally in any department of your life.
Yeah, and I'd say it's a scary thought to think that your spouse or somebody you love and respect a lot is outgrowing you.
Yeah.
And I think oftentimes when we start outgrowing an individual, we sort of gush about the ways in which we're growing, right? Like kind of like you go to a seminar that your partner wasn't at and then you come back, or even doing something like this, you might go up to your spouse and be like, I'm doing the daily grind and this is the things that I'm learning and blah, 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 and it's so amazing and this and that, and this person's just not going to understand where you're coming from. Exactly. They kind of feel like you're taking steps
you're leaving
forward.
me behind.
Exactly, right?
So how do you remedy that? One, just simple, maybe, and I know a lot of you guys watch the daily grind with your spouse. So if you're going to do something like this or read a certain book, include your spouse in the journey. But what do you do when they don't want to be included?
I think like everything's a sales job, right? Like I think for me and you, I think
this is fascinating.
Well, it's true, right? Like if you like recall the way this all sort of came to be, you were on your personal growth journey far before I was. Like you were listening to Tony Robbins and reading personal growth books. Like I remember Push was like a book you were reading, and I was still kind of in the video game mode, right? Like so you very much had to, and I think this is a spousal duty, if you will, to like push me to step up and grow alongside you. So I think for you to get me on board, it's every bit a sales job, right? Like it's every bit like this is the stuff I'm working on so that I can accomplish these goals. And it starts with communication and it leads into these are the reasons for why I think that you should be a part of it too. Is that fair?
Yeah, no, I love it.
Yeah.
And I feel like you weren't necessarily put off by any of it, but you did have questions. And I just from like a very logical, like primal being, like as like not monkeys, but you know what I mean. like a man just, or like a spouse, any spouse actually, like same with me, with you, you just want to protect and make sure that the other person doesn't get hurt. So if your spouse's guard is up, they just want to make sure that you're not getting taken advantage of, doing anything that's going to hurt you. And like even a workout and your that could be it too. So I think with me, with starting my workouts and everything, you just wanted to see what it was all about. And I think one thing that you use this word, but sold you on it was I never complained. Like I was just happy. And I think it's so simple, but I think your spouse just wants to see you be happy.
Well, you're absolutely right. You know, like,
thank you.
No, it's true. Your spouse does want to see you happy.
What
And if
do
they
I
don't,
say?
then that's
what do
another
I say
conversation.
whenever you say that? Whenever you're like, oh, you're right.
I'm always right. Or I'm never wrong, or something along those lines. I know.
Oh, you're not wrong. That's what you're not wrong, and I'll go.
I'm never
wrong.
I know. But I think sales is such an interesting thing, especially when you're dealing with a spouse, because they see you day in and day out.
Yeah.
So if you're selling me on the concept that you're working out because it makes you happy, but yet you're always complaining and never happy, then I'm not sold on the concept.
Or not sticking with it. Right?
And that's the other thing. If you're selling me on the idea that you're building a side business because you want to take us to Disney World or support the family or build a house or do something like that, but you're never working that business, then there's no trickery there, right? Like your words and your actions need to align. But I'll latch onto your words for as long as your actions align with those words, right? But the thing about with a spouse or a partner or even a loved one is you're under a microscope all the time.
Yeah.
Because
you can't escape it.
Exactly, right? I come home and what do I see? I see you and what you're doing and how you're behaving and so on.
We talked about this the other day in the car. That used to be such a trigger for me. And I was saying it to you as though like you didn't know. And he's like, I know. But I said when he used to come home at 5, I would like, it was almost a trigger that I would see like 4:50 coming around. I was like, he's going to come home at around 5:30. And every time, like clockwork, at least for like the span of a couple months, I would snap. Like he'd be like, hi, how was your day? What'd you do? And I would snap. Sometimes less snippy than others, but all the time I was so displeased by what I had produced in a day because it was a simple question. He would say, how was your day? What'd you do? And I was like, I don't freaking know. And that was how the daily grind was born, because now I can be like, here, look, this is what I did. Like, I just felt so unproductive. I felt like I was contributing nothing to our relationship. Like, I felt like I actually put us in like a deficit. Like, I just felt like I wasted my day every day. And to go through that. So I have so much empathy for people that are at a state of like being lost in their life because it sucks. But one thing that I did do that I feel like really spoke to you, and like if you're looking to get like buy-in from either family member, spouse, whatever, I really stuck with it. Like I didn't let up, and I didn't complain about what I was doing to you.
No, not at all. And
like
that
I
going back to that primal feeling of like as a man trying to protect a woman, if you will, like even if you're doing something like working out every day, and the only thing I hear about your workout is my legs are sore, my arms hurt, my wrists are achy, whatever it is, at some point I'm just going to be like, hey, can you just stop that or like do something different, right? But on the flip side, if you're coming to me and you're feeling awesome and you're acting like you're feeling awesome, then it's a different story. But
and then to include you in the change, to include your whole family in the change, Mr. Man, he's here.
Well, there he is.
So okay, so I feel like, listen, you can come back tomorrow and we can elaborate more.
Okay.
I feel like that'd be fun.
Sure.
And
should we like synopsize and like 3 key points to take away or something? I don't know.
You're such a dude. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So I mean, number 1, communicate what you're working towards with your spouse.
Yep.
And treat it like a sales job.
Yep.
Like if you really want them to either come along,
and that doesn't have to be in a negative way. Like to treat it like a sales job. Like you pitch something every day, all day long. If you're a parent, you pitch that dinner is going to be really freaking good, and that's what they should be eating. Like you do that all day long. It's 100%. Fine. It doesn't have to be a negative thing. So continue.
I don't perceive sales to be negative. Some people perceive sales like ick. I'm like, no, I sell every single day, all the time, right? Like I'm either selling you, like to your point, on restaurants and so on, right? Like, but the first step I think is communication. And if at the very least you can't sell them on the concept of following along with you, at least you can sell them on the concept of staying out of your way and not expressing doubt and, boosting you up, if you will.
Yep.
Right? What will be number 2? That was number 1.
Number 2 is,
let your words and actions align.
Yeah, let your words and actions align. Be consistent with your stuff. Like, follow through on your word.
Yes.
Especially, to me, that's just out of pure respect for you. Like, the way that I saw it was you supported us in the way of believing in what I was doing and allowing me to pursue my goal out of respect. I was going to follow through on the ish that I said I was going to do.
Heck yeah.
So that's number 2. What's number 3?
Number 3, I'd say, is like involve them in some capacity.
Yeah.
Like if they can't be fully invested in the process, talk to them about your goals. You know, like ask for their feedback about how they can go about it. But that's one thing, you know, early on in your business when you were running it on your own and I was doing my own thing, even if I got home and you would talk to me about your business, and I'd still have thoughts and feedback, right? Like unless it's a scientist job that I don't understand, but you know, if you're talking about,
there's always a way to involve your significant other in some capacity,
right? So
I love that.
We turned this into 3 takeaways. How do you like that?
Nailed it. You should be a guest more often, but you're coming back tomorrow and we're going to talk about more stuff.
That sounds
cool?
like fun.
All right, so you guys can leave your comments and questions for Andre in the live chat. Live chat?
I don't remember, but I'm going to say
live
this
chat.
And
oh my gosh, we talk. Do you like the new setup? I've remodeled my office in a clean and decorate with me. I've never done that before. And I know Andre had thoughts. He's like, you have to film a video and you're deciding to remodel your office now?
Yeah, not a video, 2 videos. You have to film 2 videos and an Instagram post and do all the other stuff that you usually do. And here you are remodeling your office. I'm like, what are you doing?
And then you came in and he was like, you're moving the desk yourself? And I was like, yes. And then you said, you're a tank.
You are a tank. When you put your mind to something, it's weird. You're a weirdo, but a good kind of weirdo.
I'm here for it. We are the weirdos, mister.
Heck yeah.
All right, you guys. So I will see you tomorrow with Andre. And like I said, leave your comments, questions for Andre, and we will address them tomorrow together and go through another in-depth conversation on life. Cool? Hopefully you guys liked this.
Give it a thumbs up if you did.
Make sure
you're subscribed. Hit the bell for notifications.
Oh my God. Can you tell he follows? That's it.
Oh,
no, there's nothing else to hit. Stop with the hit. There's nothing else to hit. We'll see you guys.
Don't hit anything else.
We'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye, guys.
Let's go.